Eger is home to some of Hungary's most valuable and oldest vineyards, but it is also a hotbed for individualistic and independent winemakers. And Imre Kalo is one of them. He's been operating in Eger since 1987, and he's passionate about nature. And when it comes to producing wines, he's chucked the rule book in the bin. His goal is to produce liquid perfection, and he doesn't care if he only makes a couple of bottles of each wine. Commerce just doesn't come into it. I was introduced to Imre's wines by wine merchant Imre Kalo, who's showing me around. First stop, the vineyards. I'm so happy to be here, because you and I have tasted lots and lots of wines, and Imre's wines were clearly amongst the best. So how does he do it?
Well, everything starts here in the vineyards. You have to have low yields in the vineyards, you have to have a great terroir to make a good wine.
And I guess that's what we can see from here, is basically we have like about one bottle produced per vine. Some people might use 2 or 3 times more.
You just see a few bunches of grapes per wine. There's not much on it, so that's normal. That's how you get the maximum flavor.
Next up, the winery. Wow, what an amazing cellar! And it looks like it's been totally dug into the rock.
Just like in the prehistoric times, they didn't have technology. They just had a rock. It's a perfect constant temperature for making wine.
Which I guess really reflects what Imre is about, isn't he? Because he's like so traditional, and he makes wines the way I guess we used to make it hundreds of years ago. And that's what really is amazing, is that he makes his white wine exactly like he was making his red wines.
Absolutely. There is no intervention, no pressing used, only long skin contact, as we call it, maceration, long maceration.
And what that means, most winemakers, when they make white wine, they leave the skin in contact with the juice for a few hours. Whilst Imre, he leaves this berry, this skin, this pip in contact with the juice for weeks and months. So it produces a very, very different type of wine.
Absolutely. And he doesn't even use presses. In a normal winery, you would see the pressing. That's normal. I mean, that's conventional winemaking.
Well, let's go and find the guardian of Hungarian traditional winemaking and taste his wines.
Let's do that.
Hey.
Hello.
Hello.
So what do we have here?
We have a 2005 Chardonnay, macerated for 120 days.
That's why the colour is the way it is, isn't it? That
Absolutely.
gold. And is it still in barrel?
Still in barrel, of course. It's at least 4 or 5 years in barrel before he's putting into bottle.
Imre, when you made these, what was your vision?
I was 30 years old when I realized I lived in one of the best wine-growing regions on Earth. So I decided I wanted to produce the best wine on the planet. Well, one of them. Of course, that's what all winemakers want. And I'm trying to do it in this place, with these grapes.
Gosh, it's so nutty. And I mean, this is a Chardonnay, but I think when we taste Imre's wine, we need to forget what we know about wine and in a way rediscover the great varieties. And you can taste the tannins. That's what's really remarkable and the most surprising in a way, is that when you taste it, suddenly you've got this coating of astringency, which doesn't taste like anything, but it sort of feels like chalky almost on your palate.
If you taste this blind, you don't see the color, you could actually think that it's a red wine.
It's a red wine. It feels like when you drink this, you could just drink lots of it and it's not going to affect you because it's just like bottled nature.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
It's pure.
It's very pure. There was no way I was leaving before I tasted a few more of Imre's wines.
With anything else for the recipe. Look at
that. With a bit of walnut thrown in. Imre is an amazing winemaker, and all his wines are fantastic. They're so pure and natural that even open, they'll be great for another 2 or 3 weeks. So I'm stocking up.